From every strand on the line of your reel, to the rods, to the anglers, to the lures on the end of your hook, let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Anglers Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stoudinger.
Good evening, everybody. I'm John. Rob will be with us in a minute. He's running a few minutes late, but I wanted to let you know about our guest tonight. We're excited to welcome Tricia Payne McGraw. She and Angie Kopis are the founders of Fish Her brand and apparel. She's not only an avid angler, but seasoned professional when it comes to navigating the world of sponsorships. She's here to share her journey, her insights into building strong partnerships, and help anglers, both men and women, understand what it takes to stand out in the industry. So let's bring Angie right up and dive right in. Hello, Tricia.
I'm Trish. Where's Angie?
I don't know.
She might be hiding from us, John.
I think so.
She doesn't like public speaking, so she's probably hiding.
Yeah, I can understand that. We're kind of, Rob and I are kind of rude people too, so
gotcha.
Kind of rough. But no, if you don't mind taking a minute or so and talking about you and your brand, and then we'll start with some questions.
Okay, I'm Trish McGraw. I'm the owner, founder of Fish Her LLC. We launched, it'll be 2 years ago in February, just for due to the limited resources for lady anglers. I've tournament fished for approximately 20 years, mostly with my husband. Then I jumped in the BFLs as a non-boater about 5 years ago. Did that for a couple years, and then 3 years ago, I started fishing as a boater in the BFLs. Like I said, Fish Her was founded solely because, all these years that I've fished, I could never find anything that I liked or I wanted. We would go to these expos, you go to the fishing stores, and there was just nothing for lady anglers. Since our initial launch, though, we've developed a men's line, a kids line. We're just doing a lot of great things and having a lot of fun doing it, John.
Yes, excellent. I can attest for that because I'm actually wearing one of the Fish Her jerseys. It's the summer hoodie.
Yes.
When mine came in, I forgot to order my daughter, who was 7 years old and tiny, like I was growing up, and she got hers a little later. And the one thing she liked about it, she had the ponytail hole in the back of it.
Yes.
And the thumb holes.
Yeah.
And she won't let me wear it.
And well, you might be a little big for it, John. But that was one of the ideas that we came up with. Being lady anglers, there's specific things that I always wanted in fishing gear for myself, and I just couldn't find it. So we developed the line. The initial line, like I said, was for ladies specifically, and we put those thumb holes in to cover your hands, and also the ponytail holes. My hands are always cold, so Grandma said cold hands, warm heart. My husband said Grandma was full of it, but we love the thumb holes, and of course you can with my hair. I love the ponytail hole as well.
Yeah, mine don't really need it that much, but no.
We don't put it in the men's jerseys, but I mean we could. There's that option.
Yes, there is. I just want to go through a couple comments. Angie, your partner, says, yup. I'm going to say that's about the public speaking. Al with the American Angler Outdoors Network says, good evening. And we are being broadcast live on the American Angler Outdoors Network, Co-Angler Corner channel.
Thank you, Al. Much appreciated.
Yes, we try to do what we can. So
that's great. And I mean, I really appreciate all that you and Rob do for lady anglers. Monday nights is wonderful. I try to get on every week unless I'm traveling somewhere. But I think it's important for them to gain sponsorship and the confidence to go after sponsorship and things. And you're giving them the format to do that. So it's much appreciated.
Well, thank you very much. We've enjoyed all the shows, but mainly the women's shows. I mean, they're some of my favorites. Yeah. Just because it seems like they're more passionate than the men are for some reason. It's not ho-hum for them.
Yeah, it's different for women than it is men. The women, after the tournaments and things, they still congregate. They still want that social aspect. of the tournament and the friendship. With men, not so much. If they have a bad tournament, they want to load up and go home. And, I see the difference right down to my household. My husband, if he has a bad tournament, he wants to load the boat and go home. And if I have a bad tournament, I still want to hang out at the ramp and talk to my fishing buddies.
Yep. So I'm going to start off. We're talking about sponsorship here,
right.
And I'll get to a couple of these comments. Well, we'll start right now. Daniel, lady anglers are great fisherwomen. Yes.
Yes.
Guy Cromp says welcome, and
okay.
American Angler Outdoor Al says that's why we put it in the mobile app. You can watch no matter where you are.
Yes. Yes.
And Daniel says Rob.
How y'all are? Sorry I'm a little late. Traffic had other ideas, so going back for Knoxville.
He's not in that bikini, John.
Too cold.
No, I know.
Maybe I'll do a snow angel in it. Can I do that?
We were talking about, putting out a calendar, buddy, with you on the cover.
It's it. I got on one calendar already. I didn't think I was going to be a calendar model, but
wow.
I bet you that wasn't in your plans growing up.
No, not really. But things have a twist of fate sometimes.
Right, follow your dreams, buddy.
Every day. Every day.
One man's dream is another man's nightmare.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch over to the sponsorship questions. How do you measure the success of a sponsorship relationship?
Well, with Angie and I, each lady who wants to join Team Fish Her, we actually reach out to them, have a phone conversation with them. We don't just take an application or an email. We want to get to know them on a more personal level. When we can, we reach out to them, we talk to them. We've become friends with a lot of the ladies. We follow their social media posts to see it. And, we watch to see if they're tagging us and promoting the brand while they're out on the water.
Excellent. Sponsorship is about return on investments and stuff like that. So what kind of exposure or representation do you feel is most valuable to your brand, like social media, tournaments, community involvement?
All of the above. You'll find that most of our ladies are very diverse. A lot of them help run kids tournaments. They do women's instruction. They do kayak tournaments. The social media exposure, of course, it reaches a larger audience at once. So we still like that to be included. But everything that we do with our brand, we add a personal touch to, right down to when jerseys and stuff are completed and they're going to a storefront. I drive to West Virginia. I drive to Louisa, Kentucky. I drive to Fisherman Central. I do those deliveries face to face because I want that personal touch. And I expect the anglers involved with Fish Her to be the same way. I want them to reach out to their local tackle companies and say, hey, this brand just launched. They're sponsoring us. Would you be interested in it? I want them to participate in the youth tournaments and wear our gear. Angie and I do a lot for our community locally. We do jerseys for the Special Olympics in Morales County. We do jerseys for First Capital Enterprises, which is for adults with disabilities in my county. We've done several fundraisers for breast cancer awareness, for local ladies, for pink fishing. There's just, like I said, there's a lot that we do in the background that people don't necessarily see. But we like our pro staff to be as passionate about it as we are, not just fishing, but about their community as well.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Rob, says Al. Al says, hey, Rob.
How's it going, Al? Hope you're keeping warm.
We'll go through a quick rundown of some of these comments. Guy Cromp, he's a high school coach, and he's building two young ladies, lady juggernaut right now, Carly and Shelby. And he's one of the guys I talked to you earlier about as far as wanting information about where I got my jerseys.
Yeah, that's awesome. And be sure to reach out to us. We did add Carly Jo Previtt to our team this year.
Yeah.
She is a very young angler, but she fishes the LBAA. She's very tough. She's aspiring, of course, to fish pro in the future. Not that, well, the LBAA is already there, but for lady anglers, and I think she wants to develop even further. And she was one of the individuals that we actually sought out to add to the team because I felt like it was necessary. To not just have these women who have fished for years and years and years, but to have somebody that's still developing within the industry as well.
And she's very good on social media too.
She is. She's amazing. Her parents are great. Her mom and I usually communicate about once a week, either through text messaging or email. She's got a great support system at home, which helps her, and in turn, it helps us with the brand as well.
Absolutely.
Yes. Tony Arnold says, "Hey peeps."
Hi, Tony.
And awesome program, Fish Hers. Thank you. And Tony Arnold's checking out the content. So far, it's been good.
Hey, thanks, Tony. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah. Now, what do you look for in a potential sponsee?
It's different from angler to angler, I guess.
Okay.
And can I go through our list of pro staff that we currently have and tell you why?
Sure.
Okay. We have Jen Nolan. She's a kayak angler. She does a lot for the youth down in Texas. She also travels a lot. She fishes some LBAA tournaments. She's very vocal. She does a lot with social media. She loves to get on camera, which is something I'm still trying to get comfortable with. But Jen is just awesome. Like I said, she does a lot for the youth in her community. She started out as a kayak angler, which was an area that we weren't really touching with our pro staff. So we did add her to the team. Rhonda Pitts was one of the first that we added to the team, and she's just phenomenal. She cut her 2 personal bests last year, smallmouth and largemouth. She does a lot with social media. Of course, she won the ICAST tournament and ended up down on the Team USA Bass, and I believe they took the gold medal from that as well. But she posts a lot. She's got several sponsors. She's not always wearing Fish Her, but she always does tag us in her posts when she's traveling and stuff. And like I said, we were ecstatic to have her as one of our first pro staff on board. Erica Burns, we added her last year. She made it to the regional. She is a law enforcement officer out of Missouri, but she had made it to the regional to fish, I believe it was Lake of the Ozarks. And she had reached out to us, and we sent her a jersey and things to wear for that tournament. And of course, she's been with us ever since. Lori Pitts and Ashley Claus, I'll kind of put them together because they're kind of a tag team. One's South Carolina and one's Georgia, but they don't live very far apart. They're basically both right on the state line. And they travel a lot together. They both fish the regional for the BFL this fall. And they're amazing girls. They do everything they can for us. Ashley and Lori's constantly reaching out to me for gear. And, the funny thing is we had put Ashley on the team the year before when she made it to the regional. And Lori she was wearing one of Ashley's shirts because she wasn't fishing the regional that year. Well, Lori had placed several orders with us, and we had started following her on social media. We had friended her and things, and she kept tagging Fish Her in her posts. So we brought her on board as well because she was already endorsing the company. She already believed in what we're doing here. And before I get to the rest of them, I will tell you that we did start a pro staff application this year. And
Okay.
the first question on that application is, do you own Fish Her gear? And the reason for that is, we've had multiple individuals reach out to us that have never purchased Fish Her. And how can you be passionate about a product or want to endorse a product that you don't know? You've never touched it, you've never worn it, you've never had your hands on it, you've never carried one of our weigh bags. So like I said, that was something that we added because, John, I could have sent you a jersey and you said, man, I really don't like this. I'm going to go back to somebody else. And that's just, I never sought sponsorship out unless I believed in the product, unless it was something that I was already using. I didn't seek sponsors just to seek sponsors. But Anna Banks is one of our girls. She's kind of interesting because she's from Kansas and she's a catfish angler. But she does do a lot with social media. And we brought her on the team just like Carly because I thought we needed that diversity. We needed to add somebody where it wasn't just about bass fishing. Kate Ho out of North Carolina, she is a Department of Natural Resources, I believe, fishing instructor down there.
Nice.
And she does a lot with women and children. Again, she was one of the first ladies that we brought on, and she had reached out to us. She had heard about us, and we were happy to bring her on the team because of what she does for her community down there in North Carolina. Wanda Stewart, she was one of our first ladies. She helped me actually build the brand. When I reached out to her with questions and things, and she's just stayed with us since we built, but she fishes for redfish. Again, that diversity aspect to, the team that we put together. Paige Tatum actually came up and saw us and helped us host a vendor event on the Ohio River, but she's from Texas.
Wow.
So we added her to the team last fall. And Carly, and we already talked about Carly, we felt like we needed somebody young who could kind of inspire other young girls to follow their dreams, even if those dreams are fishing. And, we talked about this before, when I was young, girls in my family didn't fish. So it didn't matter if I wanted to go or not. It just wasn't something that girls were supposed to do. So I'm happy to see the younger generations, the girls getting younger and younger that are out fishing these tournaments and actually have a love for being on the water and being competitive.
Absolutely. And talking about the catfish market kind of made a huge jump last year. So that's perfect timing for you guys.
Yeah, it really did. And like I said, Anna is absolutely wonderful. She does a lot. She's more of our TikToker than some of the other girls. She does a lot on TikTok. She likes to video her catches and things. And she's always wearing fish gear when she's out on the boat. So she does a lot to help us market the brand.
That's
Excellent.
perfect. That's spot on. Hats off to her. That's spot on.
All right. Another question. Pam Horn has a statement. I'm sorry. She would love to represent Fish Her if you need someone in Northwest Arkansas.
Pam, me and Angie have already talked about reaching out to you because of what you do to help Carly and help develop her as a young angler. So we're definitely interested. Get a hold of me. Carly's got my phone number. Travis also has my phone number. Feel free to reach out to me.
Absolutely.
Rhonda Pitts says thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. We're so happy to have you on board.
Good
and
fit.
Tony, you were listing off those names, and it was kind of like a who's who of the Women in Fishing podcast show.
Oh, absolutely. Almost every one of them.
What can I say? We've put together a really diverse, really great group of lady anglers, and they're from all areas of the country. We tried to ensure that we were getting outside of our comfort zone, outside of, the Ohio area, and reaching out to ladies beyond us to where they could touch, communities further south, further west than the people that we're touching. But we are touching several people because, Rob, you saw the other day, we did ship our first package to Washington State.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, that's great.
We had already shipped to California, but Washington is about as far away as you can get from us. So we were super excited about that.
Pretty much.
Tony Ardo says, seems kayaking is getting to be bigger all the time. Looks like fun, but I like to stand to catch largemouth and smallmouth. Can you get sponsorship for kayak fishing?
Like I said, there are individuals that we sponsor that are in the kayak realm. Jen Nolan's one of them. We sponsored a fellow last year, Eric Schumann. He fished the Bassmaster Classic Kayak Series. Yep. And we actually reached out to him because he had taken pictures at a previous Bassmaster Classic Kayak tournament, and he was wearing one of our jerseys. Without any sponsorship logos, without any twist in his arm and asking him to wear it. He was down there fishing the tournament, had on one of our Fish Her patriotic jerseys. So for us, the next tournament that we did, we actually developed him a jersey, West Virginia jersey, for that kayak tournament.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, Tony. Look into the Bonafide has got a new XTR 130, and it actually has a casting deck on it. So there are some that's the best one I've saw to stand up in it. I've just now gotten to kayaking. It is really coming along. So yeah, you can definitely get sponsored different areas in kayaking. So absolutely, you can do it.
And Angie loves to kayak. I'm pretty sure I would tip one if I got in it or on it. Or
Hey, if I can do it, you can do it. So, if I can do it, you can do it. I got no doubt.
Pam or Scott Knowles says, Tricia, there's a lot of discussion about pro staffs and if they're good or bad for the sport. Can you talk about why the pro staffs model works for Fish Her?
The pro staff model works for us because it helps us develop the brand. And like me, I mean, there's several lady anglers out there that just don't see a place for them in the sport. And that was always my complaint. You know, you had all these manufacturers out there catering to male anglers. And ladies just thought that, you know, they were forgotten about in the fishing world. At least that's the way I felt. And that's why our slogan is because she fishes too. So there's definitely a place for sponsorship within the sport. It helps with marketing the brand. It helps with brand development, and it helps your anglers or the ladies that you're sponsoring or men that you're sponsoring gain confidence. If you have a sponsor, and I'll give you a couple examples. I was sponsored by Rec Lending and Malone's Marine for the past 2 years. I bought my last 2 boats from Malone's Marine. I bought those boats at Malone's Marine through Rec Lending when I did the boat purchases. So I believed in both of those companies. That's why those 2 were the individuals that I reached out to for sponsorship. But, you know, there were days that I didn't want to fish, but because I was a sponsored angler and I had made a commitment that I'm going to fish this division, guess what? Rain, lightning, it didn't matter. My butt showed up at the ramp on tournament morning. Well, before tournament morning.
You made it happen. You made it happen.
I think anglers being sponsored within the sport gives them that drive that sometimes they need to go out and compete.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So I have another question. How important is alignment between your brand's value and the sponsee's personal or professional brand?
Now, repeat that for me, honey.
Like, how important is for the two sides to intermingle?
You know, when we're looking to sponsor an individual, I think their character is as much important as their passion for fishing or what they can do for me through social media. I expect my people to have the same core values that I do. Integrity, honesty, take self-pride, be that individual that wants to be helpful versus hindering other people. You'll catch me out the ramp on tournament morning telling people, well, I was catching on this yesterday. That's how and I didn't care that I was fishing against those people. It's all about just a passion for being on the water. And, you know, I enjoy it. Even, you know, when I'm being competitive on the water, I love to fish. If I didn't love to fish, I wouldn't fish. I wouldn't tournament fish.
Yep.
Yep.
But I think it's important that they share the same core values that I do. I wouldn't want somebody who didn't have integrity wearing my brand.
Yeah. Understand that completely. And Rob, I think we're good to go because we're both characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got plenty of that. and like you're saying too, you want somebody that is positive. You know, always. You know, you don't want somebody who's like, you know, all negative. So.
Well, and the thing is Rob, everybody has a bad day.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I try to take that into account. Believe it or not, I'm not happy all the time, and I don't expect anybody to be. But if you're getting behind the camera or in front of the camera, make sure that you're able to separate your personal life from business, because fishing, especially if you're a sponsored athlete, is a business.
Yep. Put your best foot forward.
Yes, sir.
Are there specific platforms that you prefer an angler to have social media? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, X?
There's not specific ones that I prefer, because the diversity of our group and where the ladies come from, I think it's important that they do what they're comfortable with.
Yep.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, Jen Nolan's comfortable with getting behind a camera. She loves that. Anna Banks is our TikTok girl. Kate Ho does a lot with TikTok. Rhonda Pitts is more of get behind the camera and post it live on Facebook. So like I said, we have a diverse group. I think as long as they're promoting the brand, it doesn't really matter which avenue that they're taking. And what you'll find is whatever they're comfortable with, that's where their followers are at. For example, I have a lot more followers on TikTok and Facebook than I have on Instagram or X. Those aren't my preferred platforms. It doesn't mean that I don't want my pro staff to have those as preferred platforms, because that's an area that I'm not touching as much because I prefer the Facebook and TikTok platforms. So I think it's important that they have some type of social media outlet, but I'm not necessarily particular on what that outlet is.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Go through a couple of these comments real quick.
Yep.
LOL. Thank you very much, Tony. Where are we here? Pam Horn says, thank you. I'm looking forward to getting me a weigh bag. Definitely stand out at weigh-ins.
Absolutely. Good looking
Yep.
bags.
Thank you. And we developed the LBAA bags for this year. We did a lot of prints for the LBAA bags and jerseys.
Nice.
So we've had several ladies already purchase the bags, and that's
Yep.
Pam. What John's showing you there is the Ohio River size weigh bag.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can only fit one New York fish in that, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I
fish Lake Erie a lot, so if you'll notice, our standard weigh bags are actually oversized just a tad from regular weigh bags. They're about an extra inch deep and an inch wide. So.
Oh, nice.
Rhonda Pitts is blessed to be part of the team.
Yeah, Rhonda's amazing.
Guy Crump says, "I'll have fun always."
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And Nolan, woohoo! Jen Nolan says, "Love our fish family."
Fish family. Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, we've all become friends. It's not really a business relationship.
More of a family. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Earl agrees with me. He says we're all characters.
Yep, plenty. And there's your partner in crime.
There's, I noticed she didn't jump on the video. Angie, you got a invite, so we're expecting you to join in with your cow head and all here directly.
Now, I have a question. Like with Rob, his bikini's still on order.
Yes.
Would he be eligible to apply for the fish herd knowing that they're ordered?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And like I said, the ladies that reach out to me, the best way to do that is through Facebook Messenger. Send me your email address and I will send you that pro staff application. But if you don't currently own our gear, please don't lie about it. Just say, hey, I put something on order, or hey, I'm going to Fisherman Central next week to pick up something, something to that nature. But like I said, if you're requesting pro staff through a business, please make sure it's a business that you believe in, a company that you're already using, because you don't want to be that person that has to be fake. When you show up on tournament morning, you don't want to be endorsing a brand that, man, I really don't like this shirt. I wish I would have worn something else today. Just like I said, make sure it's something that you're passionate about, that you do like.
Yeah, and you believe in it, and that shows. Absolutely. When you're got confidence and belief in a product, it really does show.
It does. Yes.
All right. We'll go on to another question here. What kind of communication and reporting do you expect from the sponsee? Do you expect them to like a quarterly report, telling you what you've done, what they've done to try to promote the brand or anything like that?
No, what they do is if they go market us to a retailer or something, they'll give us that feedback immediately to give us an opportunity to reach out to that company. But more than that, I mean, we follow our girls on social media. They're not just on our Fish Her page as followers; they're our friends on Facebook. So I mean, we know what they're doing daily. The girls that use TikTok, they tag me in their TikTok videos when they do that, which is great as well. Instagram, we keep an eye on it. Angie likes Instagram more than I do, to be honest. But like I said, these girls have become friends. They're not just acquaintances. They're not just girls that, go fish. They're people that we feel like we've become friends, or like Rob said, more like family with. And they check in with us on the regular. And it's nothing for me to pick up the phone and call one of them up and say, "Hey, hooker, what are you doing?" Or I need to get your pro jersey started for this year. And, of course, I call other lady anglers hookers. I did take off my weekend hooker shirt before I got on the podcast tonight. But that's me and Angie's favorite term for people. And it's just, it's a term of endearment, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies in the fishing world understand it, but other people look at you like when you're wearing a weekend hooker shirt out of the store, it kind of raises eyebrows, and they want to know why. So it engages them in conversations about the brand.
Yeah.
Good point. Hey, it did the job.
Yes.
I guess if you're not wearing a short mini skirt and high heels, you shouldn't take offense to that.
Right. Absolutely.
Jen Nolan says, "And we love you." Oh,
It just says
and men.
And men.
Yep.
Angie says, "And men."
Yes.
Pam Horn's laughing.
Yep.
So,
and like I said, I guess I keep bringing up ladies, but we've done things with men on our pro team. We had some individuals last year from Southern Ohio that were part of the team. We may carry that forward this year. Haven't really discussed the relationship or received any type of application from them yet this year, so I'm not really sure what we'll do there. I know that they do still wear our jerseys. There's one that does podcasts, and he's got on our jersey all the time. But I think that they're kind of seeing Fish Her going more towards women because, again, women feel like they're forgotten about in the fishing industry.
Absolutely.
You guys made amazing assortment of the bags. We appreciate y'all creating space for us, Jen.
Absolutely.
Guy Krause says you carry shirts for big boy sizes 3X or 4X.
Guy, I carry clear up to 6X in men's, and we do up to 4X in ladies. And again, the forgotten about individuals in the fishing industry, because if you're a woman and you want to go get a shirt, if you weren't a size double extra small to a size medium, you couldn't find a shirt.
Yeah.
And the same way with men. I mean, there's guys who are on the larger side that like to fish. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's there's a couple of the fellows that I fish against in the BFL that are constantly calling me requesting their shirts because they do need those bigger sizes. But yeah, like I said, we carry clear up to 6X in men's.
Nice.
I have a future guest coming on. I'm not going to drop any names, but he says he have 2 cameras to take a picture of himself.
Oh wow. That's okay.
Oh yeah.
That's okay. And yes, I've got jerseys for him. So we don't keep a lot of those in stock. I will tell you that usually when we show up to our shows, we'll have a few 5Xs and 6Xs with us. But because we've got so many prints available, I don't try to have those sizes in every print that I've got, if that makes sense. Usually the favorite prints are the ones that we get in all size ranges. But then, of course, you can go to the website and order it in whatever size you want, whatever jersey you want. And Rhonda, I see your message. We do have cold weather hoodies. We can do any of our jersey designs and fleece lined hoodies, either full zip or just a hooded crew neck neckline on them. So
Nice. So noted.
I may have to look in that fleece lined.
yes.
Yeah. We're going to need it here in about a week or two.
I know. I was actually, because I haven't ordered myself any yet or put any into production, which I should have before now, because it's going to be like 10 degrees when we're setting up in Indiana next weekend. But so Angie and I got some cheap sweatshirts that we still had in the basement from because when we started, we were doing vinyl prints. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. I mean, we've progressed that far, but we still had some leftover sweatshirts in the basement. We went down, grabbed the cutter, cut out some Fish Her logos, threw them on those sweatshirts and hoodies, and by golly, now we're ready for Indiana.
There you go.
All right, we'll throw out another question here.
Okay.
How often do you review the progress or effectiveness of a sponsor, or do you have any advice for aspiring sponsees?
Like I said, I think the review is continual because we do keep an eye on what they're doing, especially on like TikTok and Facebook. And, we're friends with these ladies, so they do report back to us and let us know if they have a bad tournament. They'll pick up the phone and call and tell us, what happened. If it's not a tournament where they can't receive information, they'll call and say, hey, if you fished this lake. And it's funny because I reached out to one of our girls last year when we'd finished Hartwell, and she was getting ready to fish a tournament there. And she said, oh, wait, don't tell me anything because I can't receive information on that lake. So, like I said, we just all kind of keep tabs on each other. They watch Angie and I to see what we're doing. And then in turn, we keep an eye on what they're doing, and we all give each other feedback. It's a very interesting group. But what was the second part of that question, John?
Any advice for aspiring sponsees?
Like I said earlier, make sure it's a product that you're that you like before you reach out to them. Make sure it's something you believe in, you're passionate about. Now, I mean, clothes and things you're not necessarily going to be passionate about, but like our weigh bags, for example, they're one of a kind. There's nothing like them on the market. Our tackle packs that we have now, the non-boater tackle packs, are absolutely wonderful. But if you're reaching out to not just us, but any brand, make sure you do a little bit of research on that brand. Make sure that you own their products. And the most important thing to me would be, again, like I said, we changed our pro staff application this year. That's the first question. Do you own any Fish Her gear? Because if you don't own it, you haven't worn it, you don't know if you're going to like it or not. Yep. And I'm not a person that's going to promote something that I don't believe in.
Absolutely.
Rhonda or Joe says, I'm proudly sponsored by Kleenex. They help with all the crying. I support them because they support me. Just got home, zeroed hard today.
Oh, not good.
He's down in Louisiana, so.
Oh no.
Carly Joe says, "Hey guys, better late than never." That
Hi,
is true.
Carly Joe. We were talking about you earlier, honey. You missed it.
Yep. All positive though. All good. All positive.
Oh, good.
Yes. Tanya Huchowski says, "Bah ha ha ha." She's laughing at you.
Yep.
Angie says the hubbies are sporting Fish Her gear too.
Yes.
There you go. Hey.
Yes, it's awesome because, like I said, when we created this, the drive was to do something for lady anglers.
Yep.
Well, then we had these fellows coming up and saying, "Hey, do you have anything in men's?" And we were like, "Well, no." We just thought because it was Fish Her, that there were men wouldn't want to wear it. And of all the men that I've encountered in the last almost 2 years since we started this brand, I've only had 2 that told me if it didn't say Fish Her, I would wear it. So that's why, and I think you saw the logo, the FH with the bass that my daughter created for us. But that was for those 2 specific individuals. But I mean, we've literally come across tens of thousands of fellows in the last couple of years who all love it. I mean, the material's comfortable. Of course, they don't have the ponytail holes. They're not a fitted style for men. V-cut necklines don't exist on the men's jerseys. That was stuff that was still specific to the ladies. But when we started the men's line, it was because of the requests. Hey, we like the jerseys. We like the prints. Can you do them in men's?
Absolutely.
Now, do men have the option of getting the thumb holes or no?
We can do thumb holes in the men's, but with the women, I don't necessarily recommend them in the men's.
Yeah.
In lieu of thumb holes, I would do the fingertipless gloves, and I say that because the women's jerseys are more of a fitted style. So the thumb hole, the sleeve fits your hand. With men, their sleeves are more of a loose fit style. So you've got that flopping on the sleeve that you're apt to get a treble hook or anything caught in when you're actually out there fishing. So with the men's, like I said, I don't recommend the thumb holes. I would go with the fingertipless gloves.
Makes sense.
Yes, it does. I mean, I was trying to catch up to my daughter. You know, she's bragging about the thumb holes and the ponytail. I can't do it.
It's stuff. I mean, like Auntie and I fish, so it's like, man, we wish that somebody would do this, and it's like, let's do it. We're going to do it.
That's great.
Joe comes back with, I need a jersey with oversized pockets to carry my fishing grief.
No.
Only when he's in Kentucky. I'll just add that and leave it.
No, he's been having a couple rough days, rough days in Louisiana. I talked to him the other day.
I'm sorry, Joe.
Rhonda Pitt says she'll be in touch. She needs one of the fleece lined.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Joe can come up ice fishing. I'll take him ice fishing. How's that?
Lori says, go Trisha and Angie, solid made products.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Yes, they are. Carly Jo says, I'll have to go back and watch from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Now, that Lori that commented, she runs the Two Chicks in a Boat tournament.
Oh yeah, from Ohio. Yeah.
And they're out of Delaware, Ohio, but they actually travel some as well up here. And Angie and I are going to try to fish a couple of their tournaments this year. We wanted to fish the entire division, but the first tournament is on Kentucky Lake Memorial Day weekend. And when we launched Fish Her, it will be 2 years ago this May, it was on Memorial Day weekend at the Wildlife Festival in Port Clinton. So we're kind of committed to them to return annually. So we're going to miss the first tournament, but we will be fishing some tournaments with Lori and Beth and the girls with Two Chicks in a Boat.
They've grown a lot. They have grown a lot.
They really have. And that was one of the groups that we sponsored last year. We gave way bags they did raffles, or I think they just did drawings for them for every tournament, because they try to give each lady that fishes something to go home with if they don't cash a check. So at each tournament, we donated way bags, for part of those items that they had to give away to the ladies as far as fishing gear. And that helped us develop a relationship with them. And we've got jersey designs for them on the website as well.
Great.
Lori, if you want to do a podcast with us to talk about your program or anything, get in touch with us.
Lori
Absolutely.
and Beth, they're the two that run it, and they're absolutely, they are hilarious. They're a hoot. You'll have a good time with those girls.
Daniel says, off the subject, he didn't get a 10-pounder on OHIV today, Rob.
You get one, man. Just hang in there, man. Keep the faith. Keep your lure wet. You get one, brother. I ain't got no doubt.
I'm in Ohio, where the closest you're going to get to 10 pounds is 5 pounds on Erie.
Yeah.
It's froze right now. Have you guys checked it out at all?
No.
When I was up there the week before Christmas, of course, the canals were froze, but we figured, we'll drive over to Sandusky Bay. It was froze too. So
my lakes by me aren't froze, so come on over.
Now, I know the one down here at Rocky Fork isn't froze yet. Paint Creek's too low to get on, but up at Erie, like I said, Sandusky Bay was froze, and our canals were froze the week before Christmas. So
here's a question for you from Jen Nolan. Says, what's Jersey turnaround time, and do y'all have zipper V-necks?
We do have zipper V-necks. Jen, we're doing zipper options on the male's jerseys, but we can also do them on the ladies' jerseys. And I can tell you right now, we've got orders going into production about every 2 weeks. They're going in, and that's just because it's expo season. Yeah. So we're placing a lot of orders, and the turnaround on them is still roughly 4 weeks. Can be upwards of 6 weeks in the off season if we're trying to hit our minimums to get into production. But right now, 4 weeks is kind of a comfortable time frame for us.
Okay.
Good deal.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Scott Knowles says, got to run, gents. Trish is one of the best guests you've had on. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Scott.
Outstanding. Scott's a good guy.
I keep trying to tell my husband how wonderful I am, but he just ain't buying it, guys.
Lori says, we can't wait to have you guys join us.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're excited to go fish with them girls. And they're tough. I mean, they're all extremely competitive. So we're anxious to jump in. The Two Chicks in a Boat series is so much closer for us than trying to drive to Louisiana or Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
Whatnot for the LBAA. But, you know, Travis is doing amazing things with those ladies down in the southern
Yes.
United States. But if you're up here in this area, like I said, Lori and Beth are putting together an awesome format for lady anglers. And with them, it's team tournament. LBAA is a draw like BFL.
Yeah.
With Two Chicks in a Boat, you can pick your partner. So like Angie and I will be able to go fish together so we can argue on the boat for 8 hours. But if you decide to jump into Two Chicks in a Boat, reach out to Lori, reach out to me. I'll give you the information that I have and make sure you have a lady partner lined up.
Lori
Absolutely.
says, thanks, Beth, and I would love that.
Yeah. She'd be great for you all.
Here's a question that you don't have to answer.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
Because it's not really anybody's business, but it was one of the things that came up, and I'm kind of interested in this. How does your company typically support its sponsees, like financial, product discounts, promotional materials? Do you give them a number or something that where they can track sales or anything like that?
Well, with our sponsees currently, we're providing their tournament jersey for the year. With Rhonda, it will be a sweatshirt this year because I don't think she needs a tournament jersey from us. If she does, we can certainly get both to her. Angie and I are working on putting together some sort of prize pack for the girls as far as, well, I'm not going to talk about it.
Yep.
We're working on putting together Fish Her pack for the girls that are on the team. And then they get 25% discount, anything that we carry, which is basically our cost. We're still a new developing business. So, I mean, I wish I had thousands of dollars to just hand out and say, here, just go fish. But because we're still developing and, you know, we've got all these vendor events, heck, Angie and I can't hardly even go fish. But we're doing products and then the discount codes for the girls. And then they have a code that they can share with friends and family too for 10% off. But our girls, and I'm not ashamed to tell you, our markup's roughly 25% on our product. But our girls get the 25% code, so they're getting products at our cost.
Good deal.
Yeah. I found you because of our podcast,
Mhm.
and you and I spoke afterwards about the jerseys and stuff like that. And I was amazed at how inexpensive they are compared to other people's.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's, you know, like, I wish I could say, hey, we'll do 50% off jerseys or we'll do 70%. We just don't have that margin of markup in our items. And if you look at us comparatively to a lot of the other jersey designers and jersey manufacturers in the market, I mean, we're basically half their cost already.
Yeah.
Easily.
I'm retired from the Department of Corrections. I'm not doing this per se for income. I'm doing it because I have a love of doing it. And like I said, to try to drive other ladies to get into the fishing world if that's what they choose to do. Like
Nice.
I said, for years, I felt like there wasn't a spot for women anglers because nobody marketed to them because they were a small percentage of the field. You know, 90% male, 10% women. So they wanted to market to the 90% versus the 10%. So they're, like I said, women just thought as a whole, well, they really don't want us here because, you know, they're not providing the things that we want or we feel that we need. But now with us, like I said, that's why we sought to specifically cater to that 10%. And catering to that 10%, we ended up crossing, and now we're catering to the male anglers as well as the lady anglers, as well as the youth anglers. We've got a fishing rod that we put into production now. I don't know if you've seen it. Fish Sticks
Yep.
created a rod specifically
Looks
for
good.
us. That's for lady anglers. It's got the shortened handle on it. You know, we don't like a long handle. We don't like something that hangs clear past our elbow when we're trying to set the hook on a fish. So everything that we've done has been around just trying to drive women to get involved.
Absolutely.
Yes. Brock, Big O Fish. Rob, how do we get Fisher stuff at Pittman Creek?
I know a guy over there. I think I know a guy over there. I think we can maybe make that happen. But yeah, that would be good.
Hey, John and I were just talking about this earlier today, and I was wondering, John, can I ask him the question?
How about we just hold off until we get off
we'll
the
ask,
screen?
we'll ask after. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's cool.
because there might be some corporate things that he can't mention.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's perfect.
Okay, I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
No, it's all good.
No.
It's all
If we
good.
want to get somebody in trouble, it's you, John, not Rob.
Hey, I stayed
That's
enough
okay.
trouble. That is true. That's true.
That's okay. Jen Nolan says Lori Povisil and Beth Mills.
Yep.
Yep.
That's your
And I
two-
apologize if I
two
said that
tips,
wrong.
ladies.
Andy says it's really hard to find financial sponsorship. Those sponsors are far and few between, but the pro staff discounts can be great, especially if you utilize the product on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I will tell you the other thing that we've done for some of the ladies that we've sponsored, like if they've went to their club and taken up orders for jerseys, say they're taking up an order of 10 or 15 or 20 jerseys, then they're charging the club members the $40 per jersey, but then they're keeping $10 back to buy merchandise for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're still getting their 25% off, but they're keeping that $10 back from each jersey to buy more product from themselves, which ladies like things. We like bright, colorful things. We like, I don't want just one way bag. I want to have options depending on the kind of day that I've had. I want one that's got the weekend hooker on it, but then I want one that's more serious too. So ladies just like gear. I mean, like I said, we've had so much fun developing this. It's been an astronomical 2 years for us.
Plus, you gotta have something to match your shoes, so you gotta have several covers of that. So.
Hey, you see this pink on my shirt? I'm gonna show you something real quick, okay?
Uh-oh. There you go. See? Now, if John pulls up a pink shoe, I'm gonna fall on my chair. Just saying.
I did get Angie some bass shoes. She usually wears those. See, John gets it. John gets it.
I know. Yeah, I know. I'm very familiar with that shoe. It is a good one.
No, but I'd like to say let's get back to some serious stuff, but I don't think Rob and I or you know how to be serious. So far.
No, that's what I did say that on social media today. It was going to be, regardless, it was going to be fun.
Oh yeah, it always is.
Daniel says great show, great guests. Thank you, Daniel.
Hey, thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it.
Jen Nolan says education two chicks.
Yep, there you go. That's hard to say.
Yeah,
altogether.
they do fishing education like the evening before and stuff. They do some, techniques, education, how to tie knots, things of that nature. They actually have a meeting and dinner like the night before, and it's just the girls just want to have fun. So they go out and they have fun together. They practice tying knots. They practice flipping. They do all of that before they ever hit the tournament water the next day.
Brock Bigglefish says, time to add pink call tags.
Already got them.
I
got some.
I got a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy too. Yeah.
I got a guy, buddy. Yes. I've got a set. I might have a set of those in my boat.
I got a set downstairs.
It's all about the brand. Building the brand has all been about establishing and building relationships.
Yes.
So I don't need to build or go find pink call tags because we've built a relationship with your company, John, and I'm comfortable using those call tags when we set up at our venues and things. And I think you got some coming to me for Indiana,
Yep,
or at least for Knoxville.
Yep, they'll be shipped out Monday.
Yes, perfect.
Awesome.
And then I'll have some more coming for Knoxville, I believe.
Good.
Awesome.
Knoxville will be a busy show. It's always a
It's
busy show.
that one. We have 4 shows in 5 weeks.
Wow.
We've got Indiana this weekend or next weekend. The following weekend we didn't schedule anything because it's my anniversary, and then the following 3 weeks were Knoxville, back to Indiana, and Columbus. It's going to be busy.
Oh yeah, I know Knoxville where. So you need advice on where to eat at and where not to eat, just hit me up. I'll be there.
Hey, you may need to give us advice on where to stay at versus where not to stay at.
Yeah,
Like
I get you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'll send you some ideas where to go. But yeah, there's a couple areas right there close that's pretty good. So
Awesome.
Ed Cohen says, thanks for your service, CO.
Thank you.
Thanks, Legend. I hope you had a good New Year's there, Ed. Appreciate you,
Yep.
buddy.
I'm just going to make last call. Does anybody have any other questions for Tricia about sponsorship?
We knew it wasn't just going to be about sponsorship, John.
Oh, I know. It's always.
No. It never is.
That's like telling me the next show is going to be just about shaky head fishing. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah.
I'm starting to get some shakes on that one.
Are you? I'll tell you what. My girls like Ashley Claus. She loves the shaky head too. I don't know if you've had her. Have you had her on the show yet?
Oh yeah. Oh yep. Yep. We have.
Yeah, that's her. That's her go-to bait as well. I mean, she loves the shaky head.
You talking
she
about
did
Hunter?
And she, I think, is becoming a believer after spending a couple days with me in the pink boat on Erie.
There you go.
Ashley's a gator hunter.
Oh yeah. She did good on that shaky head at Cherokee at the All American. She did really well.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. I'm trying to think. Do I have any other questions? Oh yes. Here's one. Are there any common mistakes anglers use on applications that you can give advice not to do?
Make sure you have your correct contact information. Number one. Talk about what you can do to help build that brand. While I want to know, my sponsees on a personal level, that's a phone call after reading the application. For the application, make sure that you're directing it towards what you can do to help build the brand or market the brand.
Absolutely. Good point.
I'm going to add on to that. Tricia mentioned a couple things earlier. One, know the product, use the product. Two, don't lie. It will come out.
Big letters. Big letters.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're using something that you don't believe in or that you don't like, it's going to come out in the wash. Yeah. I mean, it's you can't that saying "fake it to make it." There's no place for that here. I mean, either you like a product or not. Don't just try to pick up sponsors just so you can say I have a sponsor. Yeah. Try to pick up sponsors for products that you believe in.
Oh, absolutely.
You can always buy a patch and put it on a shirt that says "Fish Her" or whatever. But Al with the American Angler Outdoors Network says he might be at Knoxville.
Awesome. Come see us.
Yeah, Al, come on out. I'll definitely be there. But if you do, Al, hit me up.
We're going to strap Rob up in a jersey while he's there because he's still been holding out on me, John.
I finally, I think I got all my ducks in a row. So that's what I was kind of asking. I'm glad you pulled that up. Now, if you wanted to have your jersey with your sponsors on it, does that add extra time to the process or about the same 4 weeks on average?
For the production process, it adds no time. As far as me actually doing the layout for the jersey, if we're away from home, if we're traveling, it may take a few extra days.
Okay, I got you.
But we don't charge anything additional to add names, to do personalized jerseys for our anglers. Because the way I see it is if I'm doing a jersey for you this year, then next year we may need to make a couple adjustments, but it's not going to be and maybe change the pattern up for you if you change boats and want a different color. But it's not going to be a full alteration of the jersey. So we're not that company that's saying, oh, well, this is a custom jersey, so it's going to cost you $120.
Yeah.
It's a custom jersey, and you know what? We want to build our brand. We want to create friendships. We want to build those relationships. So it's the same $40 as our other jerseys.
Outstanding. That's great. That's don't hear that much. I mean, usually you have up to 5 and it's extra, so that's great.
No, we don't do any of that. And what we do is when we finish the mock-up, we send it to you for approval. So before it ever actually goes into production, you call me and say, hey, Trish, you messed up on this, or switch this or add a flag here or do this. And then we send the mock-up again just to make sure it's accurate. And like I said, most of those individuals who do the sponsorship jerseys, because they are getting them for such a great price, what they'll do is they'll buy one to match for their kid, their wife, mom and dad, if they're coming to the weigh-in, and those individuals. So you're still getting several sales out of that one sponsored jersey, not to mention you're building that relationship for future sales.
Oh, absolutely.
Another thing is, Lori says, excellent advice. I'd like to keep adding sponsorships limited. Quality versus quantity. It's very hard to find to properly support sponsors when you have too many.
Yes.
Absolutely. Great point.
Yes. Yes, that's definitely a good point, Lori. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
And one other quick point on you talking about stuff on application. Guys, I'll tell please pre-read it. Make sure your spelling's right. Have your mom or your wife or spouse. I've seen some crazy spellings on stuff, and it's probably spell check, but yeah, just please pre-read
You know
it.
what, Rob? I'm retired from the Department of Corrections. Okay, I could usually figure it out. You wouldn't believe the penmanship of some of my past, co-workers, not to mention, the inmates under my supervision. So, I mean, we can usually figure it out. And like I said, I guess penmanship does. I'm very neat when it comes to penmanship.
Yep.
My husband, not so much. He worked in the prison for 31 years, so he kind of writes like a doctor. But penmanship doesn't bother me as much as, like I said, somebody who reaches out to me for sponsorship that has never even seen our gear.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. That's number one. I agree with you.
That's what bothers me the most, I guess, as a business owner.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, about the bikini Rob's getting.
Yes, sir.
Is there going to be room for a Co-English Corner logo on there and Fisher?
One on each triangle top.
There you go.
Fur line for when it's cold in Kentucky.
One on each butt cheek.
Oh, there you go. I gotta get time to get in bikini shape. So you have to give me a little bit of time to get back in bikini shape.
Oh man.
I thought I had the bank bags here, but I think my daughter was playing with them today.
I actually think we're going away from the bikinis this year and going with more of like a sports bra, because we are bringing shorts in and leggings. And
that'd be nice.
Most of the lady anglers that we fish with, that's what they prefer for comfort versus a bikini style bottoms.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel too. So
Me too.
we are bringing those shorts in. So we're going to go, like I said, with a sports bra style top versus the bikini top, just for comfort and maneuverability on the water.
Makes sense.
That's something you don't really hear much on the guys' side.
This has all been trial and error for us, and we try things, and if we think that maybe there's a better way of doing it, that's what we do. We don't just continue with it because it's something that we like or something we would like to see develop. We just some of the feedback and stuff that we had is, hey, so we're going to try something else.
But you're listening to your customers. Listen to your customers.
None of it was ever negative. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah. None of it was ever negative. It was just more people wanted shorts and sports bra style tops versus those that wanted, to see bikinis. Because a lot of ladies just aren't comfortable going out, especially if you're fishing, BFL style, boater, non-boater, where you're in the boat with a stranger.
Yeah.
Even tournament fishing with your husband. I mean, because there's so many other anglers on the water, a lot of women aren't comfortable wearing a swimsuit. So, like I said, it's been trial and error all along, and we're just trying to cater to what our customers want.
Absolutely, and you're listening to them too, and that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. I mean, because like I said, I've got things that I like that aren't, but I'm, 47-year-old woman. I'm, there might be some Carly wants that, I haven't thought of, or that some of these other ladies on the team want that I haven't thought of. And like I said, I think that's where the diversity comes into play, because every time I ship out an item to one of my pro staff, I'm calling them and saying, hey, what did you think? Is there something you didn't like? Is there something different you would like to see? So.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, folks. Well, thank you very much for tuning in on Saturday, joining us for talking with Tricia with Fish Her about sponsorship and a couple other things. You guys take care. Appreciate it. Tricia, if you don't mind sticking around for a few minutes after we log off.
Yes, sir.
We can chat.
Yep,
Okay.
definitely.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, they do a great job. I mean, their customer service. I mean, they've been in business over a year. They've knocked it out of the park, and hats off.
Yeah, Rhonda Pitts says she'll see us Monday. She's doing a clinic on chatterbait fishing.
Yeah, I need some help on that. So that's spot on. I fish them and I ain't got confidence yet. So that's gonna be a great topic.
See, that's how I pick our topics. What do we need help the most with?
Yeah.
I know I need help with a shaky head.
Yep.
So I asked a shaky head guru.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll give you a hint. She's a past guest.
Interesting.
Yes. All right, folks. Well, hey, thank you for tuning in. Like I said before, on Saturday, we're going to have 5 more of these on consecutive Saturdays. Different people. Some are going to be the sponsee side. Some are the sponsor side. So there's always going to be something different because they're different people.
Yep.
Anything else, Rob?
No, I just hope everybody had a blessed holiday season, and hope everybody has a great 2025. And folks, it's in the eye of the winter storm tomorrow night and Monday. Hope you stay safe. The front's gonna be right over me like Monday night or Monday, so see what happens.
All right.
But we appreciate you guys.
Yes. Take care.
Peace.